and welcome to the very first episode 1 of the Open Heart Productions podcast.
Woo woo!
With Drew, and I also got my director and best friend Mitch Lang here. What we're doing with this is we're gonna pretty much be talking about everything Open Heart, the movies. We might even do some movie reviews.
Yeah.
While we're watching it.
Might do some watch-alongs where y'all can
even
watch.
eventually go live,
Yeah.
Whenever we figure that all out.
Eventually.
So what we plan to do with this is go over the movies and maybe even review some different movies from other filmmakers. We'll have guests on. Just hey, tune in and see, and any kind of links that we have, we'll always drop them below, so you can go check everything out that we talk about. So the very first episode we have here is actually about the beginning of Open Heart, and Mr. Mitch Lang here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then the origins of Open Heart?
Alrighty, my name's Mitch Lang, Open Heart Productions. I have directed, co-directed, or produced most all of the films, and have either written or co-written most of them so far. Open Heart Productions, I mean, I've had the name and the concept for Open Heart ever since I was like 16 years old, so probably around 2002 or 3-ish.
Right.
And it's no secret that I'm a musician, and most all of us are musicians in the company or former musicians, and I've been playing music ever since I was like 11 years old. And when I say like playing music, I mean like I was playing bass in like a church praise band that went and like traveled on a tour bus to like Arkansas and Oklahoma and Texas to go do like big
That's pretty
camps.
awesome. You can still say you went on tour.
Yeah, and I remember being 12 years old and being with that band for like a year, and just like being on the bus heading back from Oklahoma, and like I still like got paid for that, like $500 bucks. Like for me, the 11-year-old kid, I have no idea what the other cats were getting paid if the 11-year-old was getting paid $500 bucks. But I just remember like thinking like, man, this music thing was easy. Like that was pretty easy. You know what? I want to do a rock band now. And then I quit that band and started a rock band, and then saw at my very first show that it's not the same thing.
No,
being in a church praise and worship band and being in a rock band is different.
You're lucky if anybody shows
Yeah.
up, especially if they've never heard you before.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. I remember my dad found me out in the parking lot of the first show. It was in a school gymnasium, and there were about 50 people there. And my dad found me out in the parking lot looking down the road. I was like 13 years old, and he's like, Mitch, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm waiting for more people to show up, Dad. Don't they remember I was in the Uncommon Worship Band? He's like, no, Mitch, you quit that band. So all that's over with. That's done. Like, now you get to start from the bottom and like earn your way and see if these people like you for you or if it's just a name.
And back then all we had was MySpace. So
I don't even think MySpace was around.
I don't even think you
yet.
could promote on there, even if you had.
I think MySpace like came out in like 2004-ish.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't out then.
Yeah, I don't think that MySpace was even a thing
So
yet.
the only way we had to promote shows or anything like that was just to go pass out flyers.
Yeah, pass out flyers.
Tell people.
Go out there, go to the mall and bother people.
Right.
And, here, you throw this away.
Right. And, still, I mean, you might get 15 people.
15 to 50 people was your like dream max.
Right.
But so like from age 13 on, I had to like learn the hard way that you have to earn your way. But by 2003, like my band had gotten signed to an indie record label, and I was like 15. And we did one album and one tour, and the whole thing went bankrupt, and everybody in the band quit right after that because they're like, oh, we just blew our big chance. And like, it was a mom and pop record label that didn't manage their money properly. That's not our fault. Let's just keep going. And they're like, oh, we blew it. So they all quit. So I had to reform the band again, and that was whatever, Jeremy Harrington.
Okay.
That's where I first met Jeremy Harrington, who has still been with the company to this day.
Yeah.
And he is one of my oldest and dearest friends because he's been there a lot for me, and he's saved my ass more times than I can remember the count, you know.
Right.
And but he was in the band back then, and me and him were working on like Section 8 housing and putting houses together for people to rent and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I remember me and him and the drummer for the band, Heath Gorman, were working on this house, and it was a big house. It was run down, but we were fixing it up, and we were out there for like 2 months fixing it up and like painting the outside and everything. And I remember while we were working on that house, looking around, like, man, there's so much space in this house, and like I started like envisioning, like, what if the three of us rented this place, you know? And I was like, man, we could do the band stuff nonstop, and in fact, we could just open up our own record label out of the house, have a recording studio in the back room, and just, you know, do it like, you know, Black Flag did, you know. And, you know, whenever I'm thinking about that, in my head, I'm thinking, well, what would I call the record label, blah, blah, blah. And Open Heart Records, that was the name that came to my head, because it was the thing that...
So this all started from music?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
At age, like, 16.
Awesome.
And then, but that never happened. You know, we never rented the house. We never, you know, I did eventually start Open Heart Records much, much later, but that was, I mean, that's where like the nugget, where like the spark first happened. Like whenever I was going to start a record label, I was like, well, I already have a name, Open Heart Records. I've had it since I was 16, you know. But I guess, like, you know, after that band, after me and Jeremy, there was a split because of drama. There was never any issues with me and Jeremy. Me and Jeremy have always been super cool.
Right.
Jeremy was dating a girl. Our drummer liked that girl. And whenever the girl and Jeremy broke up, the drummer was like, hey, man, you mind if I take a shot at her? And he did ask. He asked. Like, that's at least you can say that.
Yeah.
And I think Jerm, I guess, underestimated his chances. I guess he thought, like, sure, go ahead and do it. And say, like, I doubt it, you know. But then it did. And he left the band a month after that. Understandable. Like, there was never, I understood it. I knew, like,
from personal experience, a band is a big dysfunctional family. It always has been. It's such a big turnover of members. It's because everybody can't get along.
Yeah. Not all the time. Not all the
Right.
personalities. But what I think is so funny and ironic is after Jerem left the band that we were in, One Method, he left and ended up being one of like the co-founders of Whiskey Bayou.
Really?
Yeah. The original lineup with Ray, Jules, Donnie, Jerm was neck down, the bassist.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's right.
And ironically enough, the band Whiskey Bayou is where me and Drew met each other.
I was actually the third singer.
Yeah.
Of
A
Whiskey
few
Bayou.
years later.
Right. And we actually started to get a little recognition that time around, and I had a producer, David Posey, shout out, Music City Studios.
Yeah, Music City Studios. Big shout out.
He was recording an album for us, and we had 4 songs done already out of 24.
Yeah.
We had 24 songs. And then we had this special thing out the motocross track, this benefit.
That was
Everybody
big.
got totally wasted.
Yeah. You know I did.
Jules got mad and kicked everybody out. That's it for me and him, I think.
And
It
then
never went anywhere after that. So
let's back up.
right.
Let's back up because Jerm left One Method in 2004, which Jeremy Cloyd ended up coming and playing bass for the rest of the time that band existed.
Right.
So in 2004, he left and was doing Whiskey Bayou with Donnie and Jules and them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so let's fast forward about 4 years, 2008, or isn't that about right?
Around 2008, yeah.
2008.
Can't remember exactly.
That's whenever you joined the band. How did you end up in the band? You said you were the third singer,
Yeah.
and that 4 years later, it sounds 3 singers deep. Sounds right.
So, the closest bar from my house, and I know this sounds bad. First, the closest bar from my house where I lived in the Garden District on North Third was the Blue Monkey, which is not around anymore. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah, it's near where
I would say it was like my second home because I was always there. I really didn't drink that much. I mean, I did, but I didn't.
I did.
Some
a lot.
Anyway,
Penny Pitcher Wednesdays, baby.
So I ended up meeting a dude named B-Rad. And
solid motherfucker, solid dude.
And we started jamming together, me, him, and a couple other guys, and did a couple little hole-in-the-wall bars in like Winsboro and around that area, and never really amounted to anything. And then I ran across this dude with super, super long hair named Jules. And his dad had a barbershop on Trent Street. And so he was like, dude, I heard you can sing. You want to come try out for my band, Whiskey Bayou? And I was like, yeah, sure, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. He's like, so I went and did a practice with him, and I sang, and back then my voice was like pretty much top shape.
It was awesome. He was fucking fantastic.
And
very Lane Staley-esque in his prime. Right.
And then I went and auditioned for him. He's like, dude, you can sing. I was like, well, yeah. I just, I didn't have the right people in front of me, really. You know what I'm saying? I had a few bands over the last 20 years, all kinds. Just straight original bands, classic rock cover bands, newer rock cover bands, played pretty much all over the United States. California, Florida, Georgia, Arizona. When I was in Oklahoma, I didn't get to play when I was in Oklahoma, but and then around here, locally, of course, a lot. Did my last live show with the side project of Whiskey Bayou back in 2014. That was my last live show.
Really?
Yeah, I got recordings online still of that show.
It's almost 11 years ago, man.
It's been a long time. Which, I mean, I did a couple pop-up shows with Maston Walker from the Swamp Hippies.
Okay.
When he come in town from Houston or whatever.
I was going to say, like, man, I feel like we need to go book something then.
Yeah, we'd have to practice a little bit first. It's been a minute. Yeah, I mean, now there's not those same venues around, but there's places where you can actually get paid money to play now. I mean, instead of going by the door cover charge, which never really amounted to anything.
You can't play really any original songs.
Yeah,
you got to go be a jukebox for 3 hours, but you will get paid to do that.
Yeah, and they pay pretty well. So anyways, yeah. So Whiskey Bayou was no more. We did a couple of reunion shows here and there.
Wait, so
when we got Scooby and Donnie up there.
When did you try out and like officially get the gig?
It had to be late 2007 or late 2008.
And how about how long after you joined did I join?
Maybe 6 months into it.
6 months in. See, I got involved because of Jules and his dad, but like, you know, looking back, like I kind of understand a little bit of like those women that talk about the guys that come up at the bar and like, hey, what you doing, babe?
Right.
Because I was at Blue Monkey and I was drinking Penny Pitcher because I think y'all's practices were Wednesday nights, right?
Maybe so.
I think it was.
No, we used to practice like 4 times a week.
Well, yeah,
we were,
but
like religiously, we were so tight. I mean, it was.
But I remember I was at the bar drinking, and like Jules got on one side of me, and Scott got on the other side. Like, hey, Mitch, what are you doing, man? Like, oh, I'm just drinking some beers. Like, hey, I hear that you're not really playing in a band with anybody right now. Is that right? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's right. I'm actually kind of working on some movie stuff. This was back whenever like Ne'er-do-Wells was kicking off.
At the beginning.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm actually kind of doing movies right now, so I haven't really thought about being in a band at the moment. And they were like, hey, well, we're heading over to a practice right now. We got a rig already set up with the guitar, and you know, if you want to come and jam, like, this is the dad talking, like, you know, I might throw you $40 a week to come and practice with us.
Tell them about the the place that we got to jam in.
I mean, the practice space was great.
Yeah,
It was.
It used to be like an old pharmaceutical factory back in the day.
Yeah, and we had the room.
Actually the oldest. What I heard, don't quote me on this, but somebody told me it was the oldest concrete building in Monroe. Maybe so.
I don't know enough to disprove that.
I can't say that either. I'm just saying I heard that.
And we were right underneath the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Like we weren't on the first floor, we weren't on the second floor. We were in the middle. Yeah.
So we had the coolest little jam.
We did a lot of drugs and did a lot of drinking and a lot of other stuff up in that.
And for the record, I'm 15 years sober. So yeah.
I'm about 15 minutes since I finished my beer. Well, yeah, I started Open Heart Records. It was after I was in Prester John.
Right.
All right. I played bass for this boogie rock band called Prester John. That was the one band that actually like got the closest to doing something. You know, like breaking outside of the local and regional, like, you know, humdrum and like doing it. Because, I mean, whenever I was with them, we did like 2 or 3 albums, and we did tours that went all over the country. Like, I think that we, with the exception of like the northwest corner of the United States, like the Portland, Seattle area, besides from those, we literally hit every other major city like in the country, in the continental U.S. And we were signed to TMG Records at that point, and that's whenever I learned a lot about how much record labels screw over bands and artists, like how much they take and how little you get and how much work you put in with no help from them.
Now they say it's signing your life away.
I mean, there were some things that like I refused to agree to in the contract, like I refused to pay for copies of my own record. Like whenever they were talking about getting physical copies made to sell, I was like, well, you can buy them from us. And I'm like, all right, how much is that going to cost me? And they're like, oh, X amount of dollars. And the price tag that they were giving was like $250 more than a mom and pop place that I found online that could do them. And I went, you know what? I can spend a fraction of that and get the exact same quality of work done. So, no thank you. I will not be in the clauses on anything that we sign. No thank you. So that's what we did. We still made our own, you know, albums and sold them. And that's how we managed to have a loophole to keep a lot more of the money, because that's what we brought on tour with us.
Right.
So that's what we sold on tour. And since we sold those on tour and we made them and we had the rights to it, we just kept the money and used that to keep the tours going.
Right. And just so everybody knows, this man right here has toured and traveled with what band?
It was the cats from Green Jello, Monkey Soup, and Helgrim. Those are all the different entities that they're known as. Pretty
awesome to say that you got to run around with Green Jelly.
Got to play the Three Little Pigs song so many times that I think I played that song more times than some of my own original songs that I used to play at bonfires.
And we actually used to play that song in Whiskey Bayou.
Yeah, that's another crazy thing. Before I even met all those guys and did that stuff on the road with them, we still used to cover that song in Whiskey Bayou. So yeah, I think I have probably sang that song more than any one song ever.
I haven't heard very many people cover that song, so
yeah. Well, I was just lucky that I was just with the people.
Right.
So it helps.
Awesome. That's pretty awesome.
But so after Prester John broke up, I kind of needed to keep going. There was like this was like 2016 was when Prester John like officially broke up. And I had some issues with my employer insurance, and I had a brand new baby son that was like maybe a year and a half old or whatever. So I needed supplemental income like yesterday to stay alive and everything. So I started doing the thing that everybody else is doing now, where I would go to all the patios and the restaurants and the bars and like be a jukebox for 3 hours on an acoustic guitar. And yeah, they might pay you, you know, $500-600 to do that for 3 hours, but I did that for like a year solid, and I didn't. It sucked. It felt terrible as a musician. It felt terrible. I was making money and I was taking care of my family with it, but I hated it the whole time. It wasn't until like the band came around and we started dressing up in the superhero costumes and recording the concept albums just to be goofy that I actually started having fun with music again. And that's whenever I started officially Open Heart Records. And of course the Mitchell Lang Band was the first band signed to it. But because I was going away from the just sitting there in the corner with the acoustic guitar playing 3 hours of covers, showing up with a full band with a bunch of costumes that was insistent on playing our original superhero songs as well as covers. We still would play the covers, but you were going to have to sit through an entire set of our original shit. We'll give you 2 sets of all covers, but you're going to sit through 1 set of us. And that's whenever the places stop booking, because they aren't interested in hearing original music. And even though it was family friendly and about superheroes and we were in costumes and being very playful and family friendly, it's still like, no, by the wayside. So I had to start branching out to Texas and Arkansas and South Louisiana to do any bookings, to make any money.
Right.
And that's whenever I started hooking up with bands like the Marrows and the Dead Tchotchkes and Beaver and Stuck on 45. And like, it was the first time that I was around a group of other like misfits toys that we call them now, you know, and it was the first time I was around a big group of, because once all 5 of those bands were together, that's a small army right there of like 30-40 people with everybody's girlfriends and roadies and stuff. And you kind of felt invincible whenever y'all got together and you'd go play shows in everybody's state, you know, like, and then we'd book like all 5 of the places that we could play in our towns in a row and do a little 5-day tour with all 5 of the bands. And
that's awesome.
It was some amazing, awesome times with a lot of drinking and some mushrooms and watching the guys in Beaver fist fight over nothing. Stay up all night drinking and then show up the next morning after leaving the casino like nothing ever happened. Showed up eating the continental breakfast the next morning with us pouring the whiskey and the coffee like, I can't wait for the show tonight. I'm like, how are you still awake and ambulatory right now? Like,
so as far as music goes, I think out of all the places I played, every state I played, my most favorite place that I actually played some music was on in the French Quarter in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, I mean,
acoustically out there on the street.
I think any show I've ever played in New Orleans has been a great show. I remember like my favorite, if you know my favorite band that I was ever in, that like even though they might not have gotten as big as Prester John had gotten, or was as positive as One Method was, or made good friendships like I did with Whiskey Bayou, my favorite band that I was ever in was the Heritage.
Okay.
Hands down.
I remember the Heritage.
And
that was Heath Gorman.
Heath Gorman was the lead singer, and that was right when we were in the hardcore like thralls of our alcoholism.
Right.
Like we were drinking a lot.
Yeah, there was a point where I was drinking a lot too.
And like functioning, you know, I still went to work. You know, like I might have showed up smelling like liquor, and I might have immediately gotten drunk as soon as I left.
I
But
really remember this one show that we did.
I already know.
At the Blue Monkey.
Yeah, at the Blue Monkey.
It's when Mitch drove this serial killer van.
Yep. For touring.
Right. And,
but it did look like a serial killer van.
So drunk, and like I think we were like opening up, or maybe we were playing like a big show. There was a bunch of us playing, I think.
I just remember that the place was packed, and it was so
Right.
packed I had to go out to the van to lay down because I was so pissed
and
drunk.
he passed out, and we could not get him up. We tried for like 45 minutes before we were supposed to go on, and like maybe 2 minutes before we were supposed to get on stage, we finally get him up.
Didn't you have Russ go sound check my guitar for me because
Or somebody.
I wasn't even available for sound check.
Yeah, I think Russ or somebody did. But anyways, we go get him up, and he gets up there, and he's butt ass naked, and plays the best I ever heard him play. Ever. Like fucking killed it. So.
See, I was worried about how well I was going to play.
Right.
Because I do remember you being the one that woke me up going, Mitch,
right.
we got to play right now. We've already sound checked. Like, you got to get up there. I was like, oh, no. And I remember getting up because you had to walk in that back. The back was outside, right?
Right. Yeah.
And behind the stage.
Because it had that long ass wall.
Yeah.
That went down, yeah.
So whenever I got woken up, I'm outside in the van. And you say, we're playing right now. And I walk in that door that's behind the drum set. That's how you got in, was behind the drum set on the stage. And I got to where the guitar was and saw how packed the place was. And not only like the floor.
I think that was the Going Away show.
No.
Before, no, it wasn't.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember doing that.
It was not. I remember the Going Away show.
Right.
I remember the Going Away show well, and that was not that. Because I remember bits and pieces.
That was a lot earlier.
But I remember seeing how packed the floor was, and then looked up and saw how even the rafter little stage thing was packed. And I'm like, oh my God, I am so drunk. This is the drunkest that I have ever been in trying to play.
It is funny.
I got to think of something. Oh my God, this could be disastrous. And then it hit me. If I get naked, everyone will be so focused on the naked dude that they won't even notice if I'm playing the right notes.
Oh, that was awesome.
They won't notice.
Got a lot of pictures taken that night.
So, well, I ain't never seen any of those photos. So who knows?
All right, so the tours you went on, where all did you go when you went on tour?
I mean, it was just you talking about the open heart tours, or just in general?
In general, yeah.
Jesus Christ! Like I said, played in San Diego, San Francisco, Las Vegas, El Paso, Flagstaff, Albuquerque. I'm trying to go the other way. Of course, Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Nacogdoches, Texas. Where was that place? Standpipe Coffee. It was somewhere. Lufkin, Texas.
I know you played in
El Dorado, Little Rock, Hot Springs, Crossit, every podunk city and major city in Louisiana, of course. Jackson, Metairie, Birmingham, Atlanta, Greensville, South Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., Philly, Brooklyn, Boston.
That's a pretty awesome resume.
We gotta make it around the other side. We made it up to Canada. Did Quebec City, Montreal, Ontario, other little place. Came in through Buffalo. Did Detroit, Chicago, Indianapolis, Illinois, of course, Nashville, Memphis, Knoxville. Kansas City, Wichita, Kansas. I know a couple of cities in Oklahoma, like Oklahoma City and Tulsa, Oklahoma. I think that might be it.
That's a lot. That's good.
I think that might be it.
Like I said, that's a great resume to have as a musician.
I mean, they weren't all stellar shows.
Right.
I mean, some shows was literally us in front of the bartender and the bouncer and the door guy, you know. But
what gave you the idea to start doing movies?
Whenever one method broke up, whenever one method broke up the second or third time, like I had to reform one method with different lineups from top to bottom 3 different times.
Okay.
And after the third time it broke up in 2006, I kind of just felt like I had tried so hard on music and it's not working out. Like, you know, I tried everything I could with one method and, like, we did well, but we never got...
I mean, I understand that. That's after that other stuff happened.
So it really makes you start thinking, like, what are your options? You know, like, what else can I do besides just play music? And I used to act a lot whenever I was a kid. I was such a hyperactive and unruly child that my mom put me in acting at like age 7. So I was doing like plays for the Strauss Theater.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, that's something new I just learned about you. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I had an unruly imagination, so my mom was like, "We got to do something to focus this." And acting was the thing that helped. In fact, like even like learning to reading comic books was the thing that learned me to like retain the information. But so I did a lot of stuff with the Strauss Theater whenever I was a kid, like in their youth group stuff, and then that led to doing a lot of church plays that weren't even like my church plays. Like I'd go do other church plays and school plays and stuff like that. But then once I started playing music at 11, that whole acting thing, I was like, I'm playing music now, baby.
And also, anybody that's watching, if you're wondering, the Strauss Theater, we have a lot of their actors.
Yeah,
actually, they're in our movies.
Yeah.
And that's where most of them come from, which that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a resume to be in a theater play and then come be in a movie.
Yeah, it's where we utilize the most to get our best actors. So big shout out to Strauss Theater. You know, go check them out. Go check out their website. Go watch their stuff. Like they put on
awesome
great plays.
Got some great talented people.
Talented people writing them, directing them, acting in them. It's so underrated. But yes, absolutely.
We're just lucky to have them work with us.
Yeah,
like they do.
We're lucky to have that resource in our town.
Exactly.
It's a great thing. But movies was like the one thing that once the music thing didn't look like it was going to work out.
Right.
I was thinking, well, I'm a big fan of movies. I used to act as a kid. You know, I can learn to do that. And I remember, because I'm a big fan of movies in general, have always been, and I'm always been interested in the behind the scenes stuff, even whenever I had no, like, I guess, active, you know, and I was playing music, and that was my passion, that was my dream. I still would watch the behind the scenes of stuff on the DVDs. Back in the day, kids, whenever there wasn't a streaming service.
Yeah, if you remember what DVDs are.
Yeah.
I remember what VHS and Beta
are.
Or
back whenever
that's how old I am.
Blockbuster was our streaming service, and you could only get like 4 or 5 movies at a time.
Right. Let me turn this.
But so I've always been a fan and interested in movies, so I kind of had a general like idea of what needed to be done to learn how to make a movie, and I remember Tarantino and Kevin Smith both saying in the behind the scenes stuff that I'd watch on those movies was that, you know, your movie always starts with your script. And so I thought, okay, if I'm going to be serious about trying to be a filmmaker, I need to learn how to write a script first. That's got to be the step one. Before anything else, you got to know how to write a story, write a script. And so I got one of those like script writing for dummies books from Books A Million, you know.
Well,
like,
it kind of almost goes along with writing songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's pretty much the same thing.
You have to know how to write.
You know what I mean? The song's still a story.
Yep.
All of mine are anyway.
Yep. Yeah. It's still art and it's still storytelling. Right. It's just a different, yeah.
A longer version.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Right. So, I mean, I had the building block concepts of it, but I needed to learn how to write a script, like the format. How do you do it, you know? And then as a musician, the best way that you learn is by repetition. You said it earlier. The whole reason that Whiskey Bayou was so tight was we practiced four times a week.
That's a lot of practice.
Yeah, and so I figured if I want to be, at least a decent musician's worth good at writing stuff, I just need to write as much as I can. So I wrote like 5 scripts back to back. Like I'd write a script, finish it immediately, like didn't even read over it after I was finished writing it. I just would put it down and start working on the next one. And I did it 5 times. And once I was done, that's whenever I went back and read it, and I could see improvement from one script to the next. I had gotten the concept of the 3-act story. Every story is 3 acts, and that first one was just all over the place. And the second one was Ne'er Do Wells. That was the second script that I ever wrote. And
so where did you get your inspiration from? Say the first movies you did.
All right, I'm going to quote Jim Cornette. All right,
I can do it.
Jim Cornette. He's anyone that doesn't know, he is a legendary wrestling manager, and he's also a podcast god at this point with his shows. His shows about wrestling does better than some of the wrestling shows on network television.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't listen to many podcasts. Even though here I am, but hey, that might change.
But anyway, Jim Cornette once said, "If you steal one thing from one person, that's plagiarism.
Yeah.
But if you steal 100 things from 100 people and put it all in the same work of art, that's just research."
Makes sense. Yeah.
So my biggest inspirations came from the things that I was watching at the time, which was everything Kevin Smith, everything Quentin Tarantino, everything Sam Raimi, everything Mel Brooks, everything, Robert Rodriguez, as much, everything Rob Zombie, every fucked up movie that I could get my hands on. That's actually around the time that I was first introduced and made acquainted with William Instone.
Okay.
Because while I was working on my first movie...
By the way, William Instone is actually a director that's going to be in one of our movies. He's playing the evil Jin in our 5th movie right now.
And he's a genius. I can swallow my pride enough to say that man is a genius when it comes to cinematography and storytelling. And I am very excited about him coming and playing the Jin in the Honey Hole film. And we will have linked below the Indiegogo crowdfunding site that we really need help with.
Yeah, any of you seen this online? Hey, look, little QR code. All you got to do is just scan it, and then also there's going to be a link. So just click the link.
But anyway, but while I was making my first movie, Ne'er Do Wells, back in because Ne'er Do Wells took us almost 2 years to shoot. We only shot on weekends, and we had situations where we would film stuff, and then actors would quit, and we'd have to recast and reshoot all that stuff, and that happened a couple of times.
And by the way, I was supposed to be in that movie.
Because I was playing with y'all while we were doing pre-production and everything for that. And so it took us 2 years to do that, and one of our actors in that movie, a guy named Parker Dash, at the same time that he was shooting our movie, he was also shooting one of William Instone's first ever films called John.
I knew that.
And that's how I first was introduced to William. Parker would come back from shoots yeah, I was sorry guys, I was shooting this movie in Austin with this guy William, and man, it's a fucked up film, man, but it's gonna be awesome. And he got me a copy of it on DVD once William got some made, and
I bet anything he's done is gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, and this was one of his first movies, if not his first full-length film. And yes, it's very rudimentary, and yes, he has changed by leaps and bounds since that film, but still, I've always been a firm believer that, to me, at the end of the day, if your story's good and the people that you have working with you can pull off even a fraction of your vision and concept, that's a win.
Yeah.
And by that scale of measurement, John's a good fucking movie. I would, if you find it, watch it. I mean, it's not the best thing that N Stone's ever done, but man, it's worth a watch. It's worth checking out.
I need to check it out.
I got it. I'll let you borrow it. I still got it on DVD.
Awesome.
But and that to me it kind of shows just how crazy and unpredictable life can be. Because little did I know how big of an influence that guy was going to be in my life. 16, 17 years later.
3 years ago when I was living in Panama City Beach, and I was actually joking with you, hey, my daughter said she wants to be in one of your movies, and me too. I never thought now that I'd be here doing it with you. But hey, here we are.
That's a firm testament that, like, that open heart, like, we don't care about your knowledge, or your past or anything other than, are you willing to show up and fucking do what needs to be done? That's all we ask. That's all we look for. You don't have to have any other credentials other than that.
And we're lucky that we've got a very great group of talented people that can do all, the things that they can do the best with us. You know what I'm saying? They're using their talents and
they're shining, given an opportunity and a platform to shine.
It's like our community, our tribe,
the Island of Misfit Toys.
We go out there and we get it done. We'll work with what we have so far.
Yep. I mean, go ahead and drop some names. Daniel Stark, Richard Henderson, Sharina Leggett, Zane Fontenot, Luke Walker, Aaron Simone, you, of course, Jess Turner, Chris Lyons, whenever he comes and helps out, he's a big help on the tech side. The guys at Talk Shop Studios, Sam and Chase, those two are geniuses.
Three Bridges
Studios. Is it Three Bridges Studios or Three Bridges Productions?
I'm not sure. I think it's Three Bridges Productions, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, shout out.
I'm so sorry for putting y'all's name wrong in the credits of the rake. I'm sorry. Oh shit.
I'm not sure.
Adam Harper and Scott Frick at Music City Studios. Of course, everybody at Strauss Theater. Third Coast Podcast. Joe Jacoby. Yeah. What?
What's up?
We ain't trying to take over your spot, man. We just doing the thing.
They're also acting in our third movie.
Yeah, they have been there. They're gonna be back. We gonna kill them off. Yeah. They survived the last movie, so we gotta kill them.
Yeah, you gotta kill them.
Yeah, they're gonna come back. Don't worry about it.
We're gonna let the Mothman eat your head off.
Yes, right. if not before. I don't know. That Mothman's away. But the Honey Hole film, we're very excited. Part of the reason that this is such a big near and dear thing to our heart and why we need help from the community is before the previous films, The Bogman, Sea of Madness, The Rake Investigation, The Bog Anthology. These were all things that we did in-house here in the Northeast Louisiana area with the people that are from here at the places that are here. And because of that, a lot of the times, including myself, we weren't getting paid to be out there to shoot. We weren't being paid to be out there sweating our asses off. We weren't being paid to go out there and freeze our ass on a ship and up high winds. And my biggest, darkest, scariest fear of all time, the open ocean. I did that for the art. All right, and I didn't get paid to do it.
We do this with our own free time
and our own
Sometimes
money.
We even have to take off from work and don't get paid.
Yep.
To do it. And it's just what we love to do. We see something in it. We see this going somewhere, which it is going somewhere.
Yeah, and to us, it's always been the reward has been the completion of the art over what the monetary value is. Of course, we all
recognize your art. And it just feels some type of way. You just understand.
I've been paid to regurgitate art, and I've been paid to give art that meant something to me. And even if it was for a lesser amount, that bit of money and that feeling felt better and was more important and more special.
And then having a group of people that we love like family really changes everything.
Yes. But that friends and favor system can only go so far. And because we lived off of that friend and favor system for so long, it's sometimes easy to forget that whenever water is turned to wine, that's still a miracle. You still witnessed a miracle. It doesn't matter if you've seen it a whole bunch. It's still a miracle. And the fact that we were able to pull out 4 completed movies with just that is a miracle. But now, because of those miracles, we have people now that have seen us and know us and have looked at us, and we now have actual names that are going to come in and come to our hometown and see what we have to offer and what we can do. We have people like the gentleman from Five Nights at Freddy's, Joseph Poliquin. We have the amazing Jason Kirkpatrick from The Walking Dead, True Detectives. William Enstone, we mentioned him. Mr. Hick from Mayflower Witches is coming up. We have a great cameo appearances from the guitar player from Green Jello, some old WCW and WWF wrestlers. Mr. Cassidy Riley, the local indie wrestling legend. It just seems like every single part in the movie has been someone that has been brought in that is such a talent that is recognizable in the indie film world, that literally the least famous people in it are the Bog Crew that were in all the other movies. And those people cost money. We can't get away with not paying them like they can get away with not paying any of us for
and
this.
Also, shout out to Jessa Flux.
Yes.
She's been in a couple of
Yes,
already.
and she has been great. She's going to be coming out in the Bog Anthology as well.
We love her.
And she's going to be coming back for another bigger, meatier starring role later on. We just got to write it. I've been working on the script right now, the El Chupacabra attacks one. Yeah. I'm specifically bringing her back for that one.
That's awesome. Can't wait.
But now we have to pay for these people, and we have found some sponsors. We have gotten some help with the crowdfunding, but we need more. It just costs more, and these costs add up. So please go check out the Indiegogo links.
And also remember that you get rewarded for donations.
There's T-shirts, DVDs, hats, posters, signed posters. You can be in the movie. You can be in the background of the movie. You can get killed on screen by the Djinn, all tiered up in there at the donations.
And you can also be a part of history because we're going to bring Monroe and West Monroe to the map.
That's right. Well, I mean,
not
Duck Dynasty kind of already did that.
Duck Dynasty kind of already did that, but
we're gonna bring
not in this way.
We're gonna bring some indie film. We've been bringing indie film,
right? But not in this way. But they do reality TV.
And they made millions doing it. So kudos for that. We haven't done that yet.
Yeah, well, hey, maybe who knows? Could happen.
But stick around. This has been the first episode of the Open Heart Podcast. The second episode, I think let's dive straight into Ne'er-Do-Wells, and let's just talk all about the craziness that was making Ne'er-Do-Wells.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right,
you guys, you can check us out on YouTube, and also we now have a Spotify channel, so you can also check us out on Spotify
and all the socials,
and all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
X,
I think
Twitter,
we even have an X.
Whatever it's called now.
We probably haven't been on there in a while, but still check it out. And also,
they're all linked.
Also, my daughter's interview pages. She interviews behind the scenes, all the crew, actors, stuff like that. She's got quite a few videos out there already. And shout out to
Benjamin Gross, Jeff Joplin, Chrissy Gray, Kyle Simpson, Marcus Allen, Worm, Robert Jarvis, Charles Nail. Red. Larry Schultz.
Yeah, Larry Schultz. That's my best friend.
Alex London, Catherine Coates, Hunter Begley, all these people that have Moji. Oh man,
Julie Salter.
Julie Salter,
which also has been a great friend of ours, and
Yes.
is also our contact at LDCC.
Yep.
Where we do Comic-Con with them.
Yep. We're doing the Comic-Con this year as well in November, and we'll be talking about that and be posting videos on it on our YouTube page.
But I've been Drew, and this is Mr. Mitch Lang. And hey, catch us on the next episode.